This is some of the greatest stuff I've ever heard. Ooh.
These go to 11.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like SimRigs and TrackRacer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
Hello, welcome to Hot Atlanta. Tonight we got 125 laps here. I am your host, Sean Signori, here with my buddy Mark Johansson, and we are gonna bring you guys one heck of a show. It's 120 degrees out on track. It's even hotter in these guys' heads, and we are gonna go at it door to door. How you looking? How you feeling about this tonight, Mark?
Yeah, it's good to be back at the old Atlanta. A little bit different. A lot of the guys wouldn't be used to running back here on the old track. So it's going to be some excitement. Plus, and we've got a great turnout with 18 trucks in the field tonight.
Very much so. 18 trucks plus me. I'm going to be out there running my truck, kind of like we have our buddy James Watson doing. Hopefully, I don't embarrass myself as mad as he does.
Mate, here at Hot Atlanta, anything's possible.
Yeah, anything's possible, especially that. And, we got some new guys out here this weekend as well.
Yeah, just looking down the time bracket at the moment. Matty Raymond, quickest truck on track. I'll get it right sooner or later. He's quickest out there at the moment with the best lap of a 30.4. Then Dole is the next one in the 55 with a 30.5. So some close racing here tonight, John.
Yeah, that's what I see as well. The whole top 7 or 8 separated by less than a tenth. These guys are going to be all over each other, especially at a track like this where, it's really loose out there. It's kind of, 3-4 lanes wide. And there's going to be a lot of exciting close racing tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Just looking down further, right down the 15th, everyone's in the 32nd, and 16th is the 31st time bracket.
Yeah, most definitely. And our keys to the race, that's going to bring us over to our first key of the race, tire conservation, tire with a Y, conservation. That's going to be the ultimate key here tonight at Atlanta. Atlanta is a very old service, hasn't been repaved since 1997. So these guys are going to be out there burning their stuff up lap after lap and getting slower and slower as the race goes on. You're going to have to conserve that right front, conserve that right rear if you want any shot of making it to the end.
100%.
Go ahead, Mark. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say 100%. This place is so hard on that right side of the truck.
Yeah, we see it time and time again here. Long run discipline kind of builds off of that first key. What time? How quickly do you start burning those tires up? With the race being 125 laps long, we're going to have multiple pit stops here, and so making those pit stops and timing those out correctly is really going to decide who wins and loses up at the front. Pit strategy and timing, just building off of that second one. Exactly. Long run discipline is going to come down to when you want to make those pit stops. The undercut's very, very strong here with those new tires being compared against the old ones, but how quickly the sooner you make that pit stop, the sooner those tires are going to burn up. So it's going to catch back around at the back end of those runs.
100% correct there, mate. And we're just heading over to the points at the moment. Brad Newman, 7 wins, great season, 671 points. Phelps in second place. Hasn't had a win yet this season, but 550 points. Then Lachlan Urquhart, 3 wins there. Matty Raymond in fourth with 499. Brian Blundell and Andy Barber. Mark Grocott, Ryan Barber, Jason Hollingsworth, and Brad Wright round out your top 10 in the chase for the championship.
Yeah, Ruben has still looking forward for that first win of the year, but he's got a great opportunity tonight. And being second in the standings without any wins just shows his consistency week in, week out. He's up there in the top 5 fighting for that win, so it's bound to happen eventually.
Yeah, he's got to be getting close to it. So we're now into qualifying. So we might jump on board with you, Sean, and when you go out and do your qualifying.
Yeah, I reckon I might qualify. I didn't know. I figured I might start in the back, but since you put me out there on the spot, I guess I will go out there and qualify. we're going to watch Matty Ray right now for the moment. He's been, you know, obviously another one of those guys in this series week in, week out, fighting for wins, running up front. And this is going to be one of those racetracks that's going to possibly fall into his lap. He's somebody I'm going to be looking out for tonight.
Yeah, he's just he does like this old Atlanta. He's always been there or thereabouts whenever he's run any of my leagues or anything that I can remember. Always starts midfield, just bides his time and comes through the field and is always in that top 5 normally here at Old Atlanta.
He's got some great teammates to build off of, and you know, if I was one of his teammates, I'd say the same about him, because he's somebody you can really learn from with all his experience and all his racecraft week in and week out here in this Southern Truck Super Series, you know.
Talking of his teammate, we just jump over to Lachlan Urquhart, another good driver on those medium-sized tracks. You know, some really good form coming into this round tonight.
Yeah, Lachlan, he's really surprised me so far doing this series so far this year. You know, he's got a couple wins, I think 3 wins to his name. You know, I think he won a race at Pocono, maybe Michigan, but just one of those drivers who's just a perennial front runner here.
You definitely look. Yeah, I noticed you've just gone out on track, so maybe if we can jump on board with you and watch your lap, and maybe talk to us as you do your qualifying.
Sounds good with me. I'm crawling across the line right now to get the green flag. You know, Atlanta's just one of those very highly steep racetracks here, one of the fastest on the NASCAR schedule. For your qualifying laps, you kind of just want to stick to the bottom and hope it sticks. You really don't want to go fully flat out. Maybe crack the throttle just a little bit going into the corners, let that nose drop and catch. But Atlanta is definitely one of those places where you got to keep that throttle to the floor no matter what. So you come across the line to finish my first lap. Probably wasn't the best lap, but at least I kept it out of the wall. 7th on the board there. Still got a couple tenths to gain. Going down to turn 1, I feel like I got a little too tight right there. Kind of cost me a little bit of time, but I didn't lift. And I'm a 10th up going down the back. Now we head down into turn 3. This turn 3 is always, you know, a little bit different than 1 and 2. You're going to have to lift a little more than you did down in 1 and 2. Coming out here across the line to end the lap. Going to be about a 10th quicker. Probably going to slot in around 4th or 5th. And 4th on the board. I'm pretty happy with that, really. And on that note, we're going to go skip away and go get a couple ads in. We'll be back for the start from this race here at Atlanta. welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway here. Hot Atlanta tonight. Trucks are gridding up on the grid. We're going to run you through our starting grid. Jason Holdsworth, Brad Wright with a great qualifying run is going to be starting first and second. Lachlan Urquio, and then it's myself, Sean Signori. I don't know if that's my paint scheme, but I know I'm starting fourth. Ruben Phelps and Matty Ray going to round out your third row. Tom Pritchard and Ryan Barber, 7th and 8th here on the grid. Brad Newman and Brian Blundell, 9th and 10th. 11th and 12th is going to be Tim Blundell and Colin Bennett, his 242. 13th and 14th, Andy Barber and Kute Dahl, a new driver here to the series. Next grid's going to be Derek Jacobs and his 27 and Troy Mortensen, the 23. And rounding out the final grid of the race, Mark Grocott in the 73 and Zach Blundell in the 26. Got 5 seconds to grid, I ought to do it. Picks of the race here, we all kind of went in a little bit of a different direction. I think I'm going to go with Ruben Phelps. I think I picked him last week in the 06 truck, last year's champion. I think that's going to be the guy I'm going to have to deal with the most out here tonight. What about you, Mark?
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go with Matty Ray. I know his form here. His form's good. So, yeah, definitely think Matty Ray for me. And Kobe there on pushing the buttons. Which way are you heading there, mate?
Gentlemen, this week I'm going to go with Young Junior. He was very quick in practice. I'm not too sure why he wasn't on top of quali. Maybe something happened untowardly in his qualifying attempt, but he had definite pace in practice, so I think he's going to translate that into race pace, and we'll see him up the pointy end come the checkered flag.
He's got the power of that 194 riding on with board with him. I think he's going to be a good choice tonight. Well, boys, going down the back here, getting ready to go green. Kind of disappointed that nobody picked me, man, and even myself. I didn't even have the faith in myself to pick him.
Oh, dearie me, that's pretty bad when you don't pick yourself. But as we're coming around now down onto the back straight, I do remember he bloke that big magnet on turn 4. So just be careful that doesn't suck you up into the outside wall.
I'm going to do my best. Pace car is off. Jason Holdsworth going down to the restart zone. And we are green here at Atlanta. 125 laps of pure racing action coming your way. Trucks are going to be getting swirly here up in front. Side by side for second there with Brad Wright. As we go down into the corner here, Jason and that 8 truck's going to get away a little bit.
Yeah, he's got a great start. Out in front, chased down there in second place by Lachlan Urquio. The truck of Brad Wright there on the inside, trying to get down on that low line to make that work.
Yeah, that low line, a little bit OP here at Atlanta. Really easy way to burn your stuff up, and also a good way to get some easy positions as he got there for second.
Yeah, it's definitely a mid to high track run here at Old Atlanta.
Most definitely. You know, you kind of use the middle groove and the high groove to get around trucks and traffic, but that bottom is always going to be a little bit better on the tires and a little bit better when you're side by side with somebody if you have the momentum. If you don't have the momentum, you're trying to make a move on somebody necessarily, you kind of want to go to that top line. As I say that, Brad makes an easy move on me for fourth, trying to get around on the inside, and he got it done. I kind of gave it up to him a little bit there too. I know he's probably the guy to beat here tonight.
And we should see these boys settle down just nice and easy tonight. Phil will probably get it between 45 and 55 laps, depending on how hard you push. But the big thing is the tyres, as you alluded to. The tyres are going to burn. If you run hard, you're going to burn that right front and right rear off very quick, and you can do it within 40 laps. So if you go on tyres, it's going to be 2 to 3 stops. And if you can look after your tyres and get that full range of fuel, it should only be a 2-stop race.
Yeah, I'd say so. You know, I got about, it says I had 50 laps of fuel on board, start of this deal. So I really don't know if the tires are going to last 50 laps, but I know one guy's tires who aren't going to last 50 laps, and that's that 19 truck. He went up there and took that lead away from Jason Holdsworth, really trying to make a statement here early, maybe run away from these guys. And he's out there running that high line, ripping around the top.
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't think that's the right way to do it. As you said, you're going to burn off the tyres, especially pushing this hard this early. I'd be sitting back and just biding my time, get through this first fuel tyre run, come in, get service, then maybe look at really pushing things and getting some good runs once some rubber goes down on the track.
Yeah, these trucks have been snappy. They were getting loose all over the place here in practice, and that's something you really don't want to do too here early. If I get loose racing for the win later, I ain't going to lose too much sleep over it, but you don't want that to happen in this first 10 laps.
Looks like everyone's just settled in now after seven laps. The Blundells are sitting there nice. Everyone's in single file formation. Still a little bit of a race but further back there. I just missed who it was for between. Let me run through my camera. Colin Bennett and Ryan Barber. That's the real battle on track at the moment. Down for 10th, 9th and 10th.
Ryan's just one of those guys week in and week out in this series, always working his way up through the pack. I'm going to be looking for him in my mirror at one point tonight. I already know.
Oh, we got the 242 of Colin Bennett into the outside wall there. Really rubbed that wall hard, and that's definitely not one thing you want to do. And that was that big magnet I was talking about on turns 3 and 4. That just seems to suck you up into that outside wall if you get too high.
Most definitely, and this is one of those tracks you get stuck on the wall. Tap that wall a little bit, and the next thing you know, your whole right side's in it, and it's pretty hard to get off of it. You almost have to rip the truck off, it feels like. You know, that's something you don't want to do going this fast here, because you might just lose control trying to get off that wall.
Yeah, 100%. Tim Blundell there closing in on Ryan Barber now for 11th and 10th, looking to make a move there. We've got a battle back up front between Lachlan and Brian Newman. Nice little move there by Brian to get underneath Lachlan and take over 4th place.
You can see that those leaders starting to reel Brad Wright back in for the top spot. I think it's about that time in the run where him pushing his tires early in the run starting to hurt him already.
Yeah, it's about this time where you'd start to feel those marshmallows come under you. Jason Hollingsworth now got the run on the inside and through 3 and 4. He's just not been able to make that move happen at the moment. Back across the strike for the start, lap 12.
Hard to make that move here on the bottom. Truck on the outside is always able to get back in that gas a little quicker, and it'll show.
Yeah, he's been able to make that move now on the inside between 1 and 2. So Brad Wright now takes the lead. About to have Brad Newman take over 2nd place. Just there on the inside, bit close. Across the strike to start lap 14. And just see there that Toyota of Wright.
Yeah, it seems like that 6 truck got a little loose outside of me, kind of knocked me down on the apron, but I was able to get the pass done. Wasn't how I wanted to get it done, but I got it done.
Yeah, and we got the 242 of Colin Bennett hard into the outside wall. That's taking that right front guard off. So that's going to be his night over. It got snapped. You can see there, just snapped and comes up track. Big hit to that outside wall.
It's a very typical Atlanta style wreck. Truck starts bouncing off the rear, and you just don't know where you're going to end up after that. Another retiree, the 27 of Derek Jacobs, dropped at the session due to some internet issues. Never a good sign out of that camp, but at least he showed up, gave it a shot.
Just looking at, or we were just seeing pictures of Colin Bennett coming into the pit lane. I don't know if Kobe can just duck back to it quickly. He's sitting in his pit box, and there is some heavy damage done on that truck. You can see there that right front guard board. We seen him go, miss his pit box and reverse up, and you could even see the old death wobble in the rear diff. So he's going to be sitting there for a little while, and he's already gone a lap down now. So this may see him take his truck to behind the wall and call it a night. And as I say that, he does. So that's Colin gone for the night. Unfortunate early casualty here. Hey, Colin, Mark up in the booth, mate. A bit of a hard luck tonight. Too much damage to get that truck repaired.
Oh yeah, I totaled the thing, unfortunately.
Yeah, we've seen you get a big snap coming out of turn 2 there, I think it was, and it just puts you straight up into that outside wall. Unfortunate night done, but what was the biggest challenge here for you guys tonight? Is it the tyres and just how much the truck gets loose?
Yeah, in practice during the week, the truck felt pretty good, but tonight in the warm-up and the first 10, 12 laps there, it was just real tight turning in and then real loose coming off. So I'm not really sure whether the weather was different or what was going on, but yeah, the setup just didn't feel nice.
Yeah, this place.
That's important to getting around here is that setup.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. It's so important to get that set up 100% here. Mate, I must say that the truck looks a lot better with those purple wheels on.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I finally got that sorted for you.
Oh, mate, might get you to hang around for a little bit of time, and might get some words from you if you've got a 15 to 20 minutes to hang around.
Yeah, I certainly do. I can jump back into the race there if you want, boys. Have a bit of a look, see what's going on.
Yeah, and if you can, mate. Everyone's now settled down as we start lap 21. And we got Jason Hollingsworth out in front, followed by that other blue truck of Brad Newman. Lachlan Urquhart sitting there in third. Our man from the commentary booth sitting in fourth. Ruben Phelps in fifth. Matty Ray in sixth. Brad Wright seventh. Tom Pritchard eighth. Ryan Barber and Andy Barber round out your top 10 in the race so far. So, Colin, what was your plan? How long were you going to run for before you come down and took service? We've been told around the 40 lap mark is probably where we'll see guys starting to come in. Were you going to get that far on your tyres, or?
Tyre wear doesn't seem to be the issue. Like the wear seems to be pretty good, but the time drop off is just phenomenal. Like after 8-10 laps, you're almost a second slower than you were to start with, but your tyres are still around 93-94%. So the time drop off doesn't really equate to what your tyre wear is.
Yeah,
it seems to be more heat related than it does almost tread related. You know, the tires get hot and then they start slipping, and next thing you know, like Colin said, you're second slower per lap.
Yeah,
sorry, Colin. Keep going.
I think the heat build-up is the biggest issue with them, because like you've still got plenty of wear, but they're just really slippery.
Yeah, well, right at the moment out there on track, the track temperatures are 51 degrees Celsius, so that is definitely a nice warm track.
Yeah,
for us Americans, that's 124 degrees.
Yeah, I
That's
think we're
pretty damn
putting
hot.
a lot of
Sorry,
load on the
Colin.
tyres too. Like I tried running the low line a couple of laps, and yeah, it was just horrible. So back to the high line.
So right at the moment we've got 4/400ths of a second between first and second. So Hollingsworth over Newman. Unfortunately, we've seen Derek Jacobs drop out of the race due to some internet issues, and the man in the booth at the moment, Colin Bennett, unfortunately, big snap, and seen him in the outside wall. Mate, looking forward to the rest of the season. I know it's a little ways to go still, but some
Lachlan in the wall. Yeah, nowhere to go there. I thought he was going to spin back down to the inside and came back up the track in front of me. Way it goes here sometimes, though.
So first caution of the night as we go to the replay just to see what actually happened. We see Lockie there coming out of turn 4, I believe it was, and you just see that truck get loose and into the outside wall as it comes down across the strike and gets sidewards really, really bad. And we can see there, Sean, absolutely nowhere to go. And that seems to be the problem here at Atlanta. The trucks and the cars just seem to go the opposite direction than what you're anticipating. But unfortunately for Lockie, that's going to be some heavy damage. But we may see the guys come down pit road and take a first service. Much damage on the truck there, Sean?
Yeah, I think so. Said I have some wheel damage and body damage. I'm going to come down, see what it is and the damage bill, and go from there. If it is too much, I'm probably just going to park it and hang out up in the booth where my real job is. But, you know, you're never quite out of it. I just passed Ruben under yellow there, going down into 1. I'm not sure.
That's just snap. That has to be some equipment failure, I would say.
Yeah, it says I got about 5 minutes on the damage meter there, so I'm going to get what I can done and go back out, and if it's too bad, I'm probably just going to park it, most likely. I'm not racing for points or anything in this series, so I don't really want to get in anybody else's way. But typical luck for me, you know, running up front, get caught in someone else's, you know, nonsense. But, you know, it's part of racing, and it's part of racing here in Atlanta, most definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Now, the other thing here is people wouldn't realise how much banking is actually on this track. The banking in turns, in both sets of turns, is 28 degrees. That's probably one of the highest banking tracks for a mid-sized track, for an intermediate, a 1.5 mile track. I don't recall of any other tracks with as much banking. Can you, Sean?
I think Texas has a little bit more, at least old Texas does, but you're pretty bang on. You know, Atlanta's probably got some of the steepest banks for any of the intermediate tracks.
So the lights are out on the pace car. We're going to go back to green as Jason Hollingsworth will bring us down into the Geico restart zone.
And the truck's pretty beat up right now at the moment, but if I can get a couple more yellows, might be sitting pretty. And with the way this race has gone early in the race, with people dropping out and a couple of wrecks and a couple spins, that might not be too far-fetched.
We can just see there Andy Barber playing a few little games with Brad Newman. Jumped up on the outside, and we're under green again. We're away. Great start by Holsworth. Oh, and we got a spin in the background.
A wreck here towards the back of the pack. It looked like the 73 and the 86 made contact. It was hard to tell which one of those guys got loose first, but definitely some big contact there.
Ooh, some big contact between the guys there. That truckie just stood on the loud pedal and it snapped on him and turned him to the outside.
Yeah, someone hit the wall there pretty hard on the outside as well. I believe that was the 26 of Zach Blundell, also involved in that crash. Kind of fits into what I needed, though. I needed about 4 more yellows, and there's one of them right there.
This might turn out all right for you, mate.
It just might.
Get some more repairs done.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. Truck's pretty beat up out at the moment. Gonna need some more help, but anything can happen here.
That's just the important thing of staying in the race. So, one of the races I've won at Daytona, a lap down with 20 laps to go, and got my lap back and come across and took the race win. So stick in there and get those repairs done, and you just never know what happens.
Most definitely. I just need these guys to catch up so I can get them done.
That's the big thing at these well, the new Atlanta is definitely to me a super speedway now. The races that way, but the most important thing is you've got to buy that ticket to those last 20 or 30 laps, and you can really push in that last stage of the race. And so it's important to look after your gear at this early point in the race.
Most definitely. You know, I kind of did a poor job of that with the last caution, kind of getting involved in that, even though, you know, you see it happening for, you know, half a straightaway, and you just can't slow down enough, and you just can't guess where these guys are going to go every single time. And especially with the last caution that we just saw right there with those restart wrecks, anything can happen, and these restarts are going to be very, very tricky on this old surface, especially if you're starting on the top side.
Yeah,
So
when the race start, it was fairly slippery up on the top line.
Riding on board with that 73 truck. Good looking helmet on board right there.
So we're coming back around for another restart. Oh, excuse me. So lights are definitely out on the pace car, and we'll go back of green at this end of this lap.
Lap 33 is going to be the green flag lap. Still a long way to go here. 92 laps to go.
I just heard over the race channel that Ruben is dropping out.
I'm not sure what's going on back here. There's a little bit of a mess.
Back under green flag conditions. Again, we see Holdsworth get the jump on Newman. Matty Ray up there in the third place now, followed by Ryan Barber and Andy Barber. So let's see if we can settle down and get some green flag racing.
A couple of these guys back here really struggling with some damage, 73, the 86, and even myself. So I wouldn't be too surprised if one of these guys loops it around here shortly with their truck's ill handling.
This place you definitely want a good handling truck and setups. So I would say the guys wouldn't have done any changes yet in that first stop. Get a full tank of racing under them, and when they come down pit lane, might make a tweak or two. We've just got a truck there on the low line. I'm not sure who that is. Dole there, he has some issues, although now he's back up to speed, but he's going to be swamped in a minute by a first and second.
And kind of nowhere to go here at Atlanta, especially with the leaders running the top, running the bottom. It's kind of hard to guess where they're going to want you to go as a lap truck.
I always found best to get down below that pole line, try and get down through the strike or down the back straight, get down and just let those guys really go and sit and jump back up and try and grab the draft off them. But he's done all right so far. He's now kept in front of the leaders, and he's not doing too bad. Newman still in the lead. These lead 5 trucks have now got a nice little gap over the rest of the field. Tom Pritchard is the leader of that second group, but he's kind of sort of out by himself. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here with the rest of the guys, see if they can get close. Brad Wright and Tim Blundell sitting 7th and 8th. They need to work together and try and push each other back up to Pritchard.
Lots of confusion there on that last restart, kind of separated the pack. You know, I even myself back here, I had to restart about 3-4 seconds behind the leaders, and just because of Ruben's internet problem there, and kind of caused a lot of confusion there in mid-pack.
Well, whatever the problem is, he seems to have it sorted out, because he's still out there rotating, circulating in 15th position at the moment, and he's kind of sort of done what I normally try and do: get up on that top line and run that top line around that fence, just to get those tyres and everything. He drops back down the mid-track and running nicely there, all by himself down in 15th place. Zach Blundell, unfortunately, in the pits with some very, very heavy damage. Again, a little bit like your truck, Colin. No right front guard or anything on that truck at the moment.
Yeah, I was quite surprised. I didn't think I hit that hard. Entirely my own fault. I should have backed out of it. Like, I just kept my foot buried thinking I could catch it.
Yeah, there's a pretty strong, powerful magnet on the outside of that turn 4, and it tends to suck people in very badly.
And once you get on that wall, it's hard to get off of it.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, I found it in practice a couple of times, and yeah, you definitely stuck to it once you're into it.
I might be bringing it down pit road here myself here shortly. The truck's just not handling too well and about a second slower than the leaders, so if I don't get a caution here quick, I might as well go up in the booth and enjoy the race from a better perspective.
So, just some little bit of facts about the track. Opened in 1960, and the first race winner here for the Cup cars anyway, Fireball Roberts in an old Pontiac. So that was back in It's 1960, and we've had some great winners since then in the Cup car. Jimmy Johnson actually leads the way with 5 race wins here. Kyle Busch, William Byron Jr., Chase Elliott, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, all with 2 wins. So some great names there.
Atlanta has just been a staple of the NASCAR circuit for a long, long time. Actually had the championship race here for about 30, 40 years until it was moved away and sent to Homestead. And the whole place went through a renovation in the mid 1990s, I believe 1996. The place went through a big renovation, and what used to be the front stretch is now the back stretch. And it used to be a perfect oval. It didn't have these dog legs before that renovation project, and they really kind of mixed it up, and it's been a good track. And as we know it now, it's gone through quite a refresh, and now it's a much different racetrack in real life with the plate racing here, and has turned into one of the best shows in all of stock car racing, really.
Well, I'd even put it above Talladega for action. It really is a great track now with that new surface that they've done. Increased the banking, but they've actually narrowed the track now. It used to be 52 foot wide. It's now down to 40 foot wide. So it brings the cars and trucks closer together to make them work on that side draft, Sean.
Oh, most definitely, and it's them narrowing the track and increasing the banking of it really played into the draft package, and them wanting to put, bump drafting and close racing as they have it now there, as they now have it here. I actually went to the race here in February for the first time. It was a great show. Looking forward to doing it again.
It's not a track I've visited. I've been to like Daytona, Talladega, and Bristol, and the Monster Mile. It's definitely on my bucket list now that it's coming to a high-speed track. And I definitely want to get back over there to the States and get my backside trackside at Atlanta, just to say I've been there. So hopefully I can do that in the next few years.
Yeah, one thing that I really noticed here going for my first time was there's not a bad seat in the house. We sat over in turn 4, we sat over in turn 1 by the exit of pit road, and every single seat you could see the whole racetrack from, and I was very impressed with the level of the facilities are up to. Almost like a little mini Daytona.
Well, the seating capacity is between 71,000 and 125,000. So a lot of people get there, and you can just see there on that back straight, all the RVs parked down the back straight. I think that's one of the fantastic things there, Sean, where you can get the RV and get a really good view.
Yeah, but who has the money for that anyways? Maybe that 8 truck, I don't know. But yeah, that would be a nice little spot to go.
You see, big inside into the outside wall there from Pritchard, I believe it is, the number 6 truck.
Man, I keep thinking I'm gonna park it, and then you guys keep acting like they're gonna wreck. Got me second guessing myself.
Well, mate, I don't know how that truck didn't turn around. A little bit similar to your accident there, Colin, but he's done the same thing as you. He's been able to keep that truck going, and again another one with a no right front guard, and will be some heavy damage to that steering.
Yeah, he's pretty slow on the inside. I imagine he's going to be coming down the pit road right now. It's going to put a big dent in his race and his prospect for the end of the race to try to get to the end up front.
Yeah, I'd hang in there if I was you, Sean. There's a lot of loose trucks out there.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Just looks like we've lost Colin. It's sorry, my timing's just decided to throw you back into the race, Colin, and then pulled you back out.
iRacing doing iRacing things.
Yep, definitely. But back up front, we can actually see now that Newman.
That truck that came out of the pits in front of the leaders has been able to stay in front of them. It's pretty impressive. Whoever that is, I can't see who it is. I just know they're in 13th.
Yeah, it's Kadai Dow. So in the 55 truck. So he's done fantastic. He's come out and he's been able to really hold on to it. So just running through your top 5, Newman with a 0.04 of a second lead over Holsworth, then a further 1.25 seconds back to third place runner Matty Ray. Ryan Barber and Andy Barber round out your top 5. Fastest lap of the race so far belongs to Brad Wright with a 31.1. So
I imagine he got that done earlier in the race when the track was still a little cooler. Took off from the pack there at the beginning.
Well, the track temperature hasn't gone up any. Still 26 degrees air temp, and track's still sitting at 51 degrees. So that's a pretty constant temperature. We have seen, I know that we have seen temperatures up in the 125, 130 Fahrenheit here, Sean.
Yeah, I've seen it here many times before, racing here for a long time on the service, and when the track gets hot here, it really becomes treacherous, and I think that's what we've seen so far tonight with all these trucks having single truck incidents.
Well, everything tonight, everything tonight's just been a single truck accident. And unfortunately for you,
except mine,
you didn't really have anywhere to go, but into the side of Lachlan, unfortunately. But it is unusual because Newell there to definitely 9 out of 10 accidents the trucks and cars slide down track, not up track.
Yeah, it's kind of what I was thinking there too when I was staring at that 42 truck from the side, and I'm not exactly sure what happened there. Next, I kind of went to the top side to get around them, and next thing you know, I was just into the side of them, and just some bad luck, racing deal. Can't be mad at Lachlan about it. There's only so much he can do when he's sliding sideways through the dog legs.
Well, he definitely had everything locked down, so it was just one of those unusual things. But we're now seeing Newman close in on Dale. So those tyres now, Dale's are starting to drop off.
Most definitely. It'd be interesting to see if the 55 does fight the leaders a little hard, trying to stay on this lead lap, knowing that a caution is inevitable almost at this point.
Well, it won't be too bad if he does go a lap down. I mean to say he'll get the lucky dog if there is another caution. And we just see there Newman, just the rear end, just sliding ever so slightly. So those tyres are starting to hurt on Newman's truck also.
They're hurting on all the trucks right about now. Except for that 06 of Ruben Phelps. He just went around the outside of me with some newer tires, past me like I was sitting still. I am a little slow with damage, but man, he put me in my place.
We just got Brian Blundell coming back into the pit lane. Can't see any damage on that truck. I don't know if it's just for the regular service. Just seems to be a little bit early for a service. We've only 58.
About 65 laps to go, so he might be trying to go for a 2-stop strategy. Pit once more with 30 to go. We're about 30 laps into this run.
Yeah, and we just see there on screen now, the first and second getting past Cattell. So that truck now, the 55, is now 1 lap down.
Yeah, pretty spread out here, but there are a couple trucks out here looking for a yellow, including myself. But the 06 Ruben Phelps, he's definitely looking for a couple yellows to get himself back in contention, including that 55, trying to get himself the lucky dog there. You know, we just saw it over the last 30 laps. So that 55 is pretty fast. If he can get back on the lead lap, he might be in contention to win this thing.
So right at the moment we've got Tull 1 lap down. Brian Blundell. Got to be careful here because there's that many Blundells in this race. It's not funny. Brian Blundell 2 laps down. Unfortunate for Ruben Phelps, he is now 4 laps down. Tom Pritchard 10 laps down. Zach Blundell 14 laps down, and he's back out there circulating. And unfortunately, we're joined in the booth with Colin Bennett at the moment with 48 laps down. Unfortunate accident there early in the race, seeing him into the outside wall. Got to ask Colin, long races these, 125 laps. How do you go with concentrating? Do you do some little things here and places like Daytona with your right foot, because it's very gas orientated?
Yeah, I don't have too many issues. I sort of sit in the same position for work every day, so body's sort of used to it. But definitely having the boys on Discord jabbering away in the background certainly makes everything a lot easier. As silly as it sounds, people might think it's distracting, but knowing what's going on around you can really help out.
Yeah, definitely.
It kind of helps here. I'm about to say, it kind of helps here when you're off and on the throttle so much, playing with it helps you stay concentrated, especially when you're fighting a truck so much. You know, Daytona and Talladega, you have a good point because, you know, your foot's to the floor, the truck's planted, and, you know, you're kind of just lost in whoever you're pushing, whoever you're following. But here at, you know, Atlanta, with every corner being a little bit of an adventure, it's definitely keeps you up on your toes.
Yeah, definitely. We just see up front now by the pictures on screen, Newman and Holdsworth starting to get at it. Matty Ray just sitting there in 3rd place. He's now 3 seconds back. But I mean to say, if anything happens between these two blue trucks, Matty Ray is there to clean it up. And we just seen there Holdsworth get a little bit loose out of 3, so his tyres are starting to turn into marshmallows.
That will happen here. And these trucks, they only got about 15 laps of fuel left, so we'll be seeing a pit stop very shortly. And, you know, whoever, you know, bites that bullet first and comes down pit road of this top, you know, 3 runners here, that's really going to play in their hands. If any one of these 3 comes down pit road first, they're going to cycle out to be the leader.
Well, those top 3 have really checked out now from 4th place. 4th place, Ryan Barber. Matty now has a 4.5 second gap over Ryan Barber. So that's a big gap. It's a long way to make up. But I would say, I know this is a brave thing to say, but I've got to say that the race winner will be one of these 2 trucks here at the front, so long as they don't get into each other.
Big battle for the lead now. I just got out of the truck myself, and I tune in. That's quite a close battle for that lead. That's what I really didn't want to get involved with. And Matty Ray just got around that lap truck there 3rd, and he has been slowly and surely catching these 2 in front of him. I was noticing on my lap time tracker, that he was the fastest of these 3 trucks over the last 4 or 5 laps.
Yeah, Matty's pace hasn't dropped off as much as the front 2, probably because they've been pushing each other and fighting.
And that bottom will, you know, is a little bit better earlier in the run as you try to save your tires, but then the top will become, you know, the preferred line as those tires become worn. It's just hard to get back in the gas on that bottom. The rear end will start stepping out. A big slide there for that 33 and Brad Newman, right in that point of the corner where you are getting back into the gas. And that's, part of racing here in Atlanta at a high degradation racetrack is the adjustment you have to make to your driving lines and your driving style throughout the race and throughout these tire runs. You get back into gas much, much sooner earlier in the run than you are with these old hot tires right now at this point.
So I'm going to ask, so I know the answer, but I'll get one of you two the answer. GT3 racing, V8 supercar racing, you see the guys always playing with things in the dash. What can you actually adjust here and the trucks and the stock cars through the races we see now, side-by-side action at the front?
The only adjustment that is in-car adjustments with these race trucks is the brake bias. And to be honest, you're not really using the brake all too much here unless the tires are really, really worn and you're going a lot faster, maybe in an Xfinity car or the ARCA car. Big slide there as they are side by side for the lead, but I'm sure Colin can back me up on that there really isn't all too much you can do while you're out there on track when it comes to in-car adjustments.
No, brake bias is about it. And even on pit stops, you're very limited what you can change.
And you almost don't want to change it in a way because you kind of want to work yourself into driving the truck as is instead of making pit stop adjustments, because then you're chasing the pit stop adjustments back if you happen to make the wrong choice. And with these races being 125 laps, there's not really too many chances to make those adjustments. And I don't think either of these two trucks up front want many adjustments. These two guys are running great right now, side by side for the lead. You can't get much better than this with the light blue trucks out there.
Yeah, but that's also allowing Matty Ray to close in.
Most definitely. The person who's wanting to see this the most is Matty Ray. No matter, us here in the commentary booth or the viewers at home enjoying it, the person who's enjoying it the most is most definitely that 83 truck. Because not only are they...
Sorry, I just heard, I believe it was Holsworth just got a warning from his spotter about tyres. So watch for him to come down pit lane very, very shortly, because once you get that warning about your tyre wear, you don't have many laps left on that set of tyres.
And most definitely, especially with these guys running so tight, I would imagine they're going to be coming in over the next 3 or 4 laps. I don't think they had much fuel left in the tank anyways. You see it right there. Matty Ray closed right in on these guys like they were standing still over the last couple laps. And not only are they running side by side, you would think, because they're maybe running a slower pace fighting each other, that they might be saving a little more tires. It's the opposite. When you're running side by side, it's almost like you're using double the tire wear than that 83 is right now at the moment. And if this was to go another 20, 30 laps, I imagine Matty Ray would be sitting in the catbird seat. But with the pit stop coming up shortly, it'd be interesting to see which one of these guys bites the bullet first. As you see big slide out of that 8 truck, and that's going to give Matty what he wants. That's going to be an easy pass for Matty Ray going down to turn 3 to see how hard that 8 fights on the bottom. I don't think it's going to be too hard here coming off the corner. I think Matty Ray is going to be able to get the job done, maybe going down into turn 1.
So just looking at the times here, Jason Hollingsworth qualified with a 30.5. His fastest lap in the race is a 31.3, and his last lap was a 34.03. So that is 2.5, almost 3 seconds slower now, this late in the race, than his best lap. And
his best lap's probably conserving too at the same time.
Yeah.
It's not even pushing full throttle.
And his best lap was on lap 3. So a big drop off there.
I'll tell you what, that 33 is sideways every single corner exit. I'd be watching him very closely here, because one little mistake and he's going to be into the wall, and even maybe even worse. And he just called it out over the radio, 33 to pit road this time by. That's going to give the lead to Matty Ray, but how much longer is Matty Ray going to stay out? Because now, you just said it, 2.5 seconds slower on the lap times. How many laps can he afford to lose there? Great job by that 33 to get to pit road and get down to pit road speed.
I'll tell you what,
I was falling at that wheel there.
I was just going to say he's done well to get that thing back on the pit lane speed limit. and he slides. He actually slid there, as you can see on the screen, to pit boxes to get into his pit box for service.
I think that 8 truck might be coming in next time around. Surprised neither of these guys pitted this time by. Every single lap that goes by from this point on, it's another 2 seconds right there. They lost to Brad Newman just on the pit stop cycle. So I don't think they're going to be out too much longer.
You've got to react. To that. As you said, 2 seconds. I'm afraid to say, if I didn't come down the same time, I'd be looking at a lap, or at the max 2 laps after.
Here comes Jason Holdsworth, second place truck. Gonna leave Matty Ray out there by himself. I can't imagine he'll be out there much longer. I'd say this time by, we'll see that 83 truck come on pit road.
See a lot of guys now in pit lane for service on lap 80.
Just to record it as of note, the 194 was the first truck of the leaders to come down and make a pit stop. I believe he was running 5th. Oh, mistake right there for that 8 truck of Jason Holdsworth. Slid through his box just a tiny bit. On cue, the 83 of Matty Ray is going to be coming into the pit road there. But that is a big mistake for Jason Holdsworth. That's going to, create even a bigger gap to... and he got a black flag on top of it, and that's really going to hamper his chances here tonight. He's probably going to have to come back down and get for a drive-through penalty. Be interesting to see what the black flag was for. I didn't think he was speeding there. Maybe he accidentally left pit road when he slid through his box there and had to back up into pit road.
Lachlan Urquhart, race leader now, and he's coming into pit lane.
Lachlan, me and him were involved in that crash earlier. He was pretty far back in the pack, trying to take a little bit of a different strategy here, get some fresher tires for later in the race. But right now, Matty Ray coming off pit road onto the backstretch here. He's going to come out about 4 seconds behind Brad Newman. And that's 4 seconds that Brad Newman gained just in that pit stop cycle alone. Pitting, 3 laps earlier than Matty Ray? Be interesting to see, 5 seconds, about 5 seconds now. Be interesting to see if that 3 laps is enough for Matty Ray to give himself a little bit of a tire delta, and he's able to close back in on Brad Newman. It's going to be a tall order from here on out.
Well, we might duck away. We might duck away, but for a quick word from our sponsors. Before I go, when we come back, I want to know from both of you guys, what do you need to think about when you come off pit road after your services? Tyres and different things that people may not be aware of, how much difference there is after running so long on worn stuff. You got to think about when you come back out on fresh stuff. So we'll step away for a quick word from our sponsors.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
And welcome back, race fans. We are here at Hot Atlanta. So before we stepped away, we seen Matty Ray come out of pit lane after service. His gap was out to 5 seconds, and then it stepped out to 6.2, 6.4 seconds. It's now back down to 5. And before we stepped away, I asked both Colin and Sean to think about it and give us an answer. We'll start with you first, Colin. After you've done your service, you've been down pit lane, you've got a new set of Goodyear rubber on, and you're full of fuel, what are the main things you've got to watch for? Well, what do you watch for when you come back out on that race surface?
First things, make sure I'm in second gear coming out of pit lane, because if you buzz those rears, you're straight into the inside wall generally. The other thing is making sure you stay below the white line. So I'm fairly tentative out of pit lane, cold tyres, full tanks. It's very easy to sort of slip up a little bit.
And Sean, what about you, mate? What are the main things you're looking for when you come back out on that fresh rubber?
My big thing is to not trap myself and burn my stuff up. You come out here on fresh tires after, a long run, 40 laps with some hot, slow tires. You come off pit road, and it's really easy to get caught up racing somebody and get caught up racing the stopwatch and burn your stuff up. And you feel like Superman on some new tires, and next thing you know, you're 10 laps into the run and you're really struggling. Unlike the previous run where you might have been saving a little too much. And so that's always what I'm thinking of after a green flag stop at a place here at like Atlanta, is to not burn my stuff up, feeling like Superman on some fresh tires coming off.
Yeah, definitely something to look about and think about. But we're back on a good green flag run now. Lap 96 of 125. We've seen some people move. The biggest loser, I've got to say, for tonight is Jason Holsworth, coming into that pit stop, come down for service, and he ended up with a drive-through and black flag. Biggest winner out of that after that last service, Ryan Barber. He came into pit lane in 5th place. He's now out there running in 3rd. Biggest winner, though, I've got to say, Lachlan Urquhart, after that entanglement with you in that early stage, Sean.
Yeah, I'd say so. Lachlan's done a great job to put himself back up in the top 5 position. I'm kind of a little bit miffed that I'm the one that got all the damage out of that wreck and not him, but, he's really flying the banner for us right now, and he's up in the top 5, so I am living vicariously through that 42 truck, and he's got some of my paint on board of that left side, so if he brings it home in the top 5, I'll be pretty proud of that myself.
So we've actually still got 13 trucks out there running. Unfortunately, we've seen Ruben Phelps with some technical issues now. He's taken that truck behind the wall and called it the night. And yourself, Sean, I'll get it right sooner or later.
I've been called worse. It's all right.
In pit lane, decided to jump out after some early damage and not being able to get it repaired. Tom Pritchard, also a retirement, and Colin up here in the booth with us and joining us for the night with an early snap of Hot Atlanta, and Derek Jacobs, our other American, decided to retire early with some connection issues also. Some good racing, only 2 cautions for the night so far, and it's been some great racing. Before that last service, we see Newman and Holsworth really battling it out, but right now we've seen Matty Ray closing that gap down to under 3.5 seconds, so he is closing in on Newman right at the moment.
And the times have kind of evened out over the last couple laps. I'm riding on board that 83 truck, and it seems like he might have pushed his stuff a little too hard there earlier in the run as he came off pit road. It seemed like he saved him for pretty hard for about 3 or 4 laps and then started working in on that gap, Brad Newman. And right now the gap's kind of been stagnant over the last couple laps, but that just could be, Matty saving his stuff a little bit, knowing there's still 25 laps to go. It's a long time, and a little bit of a delta that he has, it might be enough for him to close in these final 3 seconds.
I'm just
Last
looking
time
at his
around,
lap.
2/10
Yeah.
quicker.
Yeah, just going to say, looking at the lap times, he is slightly quicker, although that quickness is slowly dissipating. Newman at 33.1, Matty Ray at 33.09. So he's nearly 100ths of a second still quicker than Newman.
That 3 lap difference on the tires is quite a large gap earlier in the run, but as these tires wear out and the run goes on, it kind of evens out. And as you see that right there on the stopwatch, before he was 3 or 4 tenths quicker per lap, and now he's about 1/10, maybe 2 tenths, and last lap a half a tenth quicker than Brad Newman. And that's kind of what Brad wants to see. He wants to see those lap times even out and keep that pressure off his rear tailgate. But I got some faith in Matty Ray. I think he's, taking his time, and with some lap trucks closing in between him and Brad Newman, might really make this interesting here.
100% correct. Matty Ray, I would say look at the last 5 laps or even the last 10 laps. If Matty Ray's within a second, he'll start to push it. And he, again, as I said, like my leagues that I've run here, Matty Ray's done some great jobs before we got the new Atlanta on this old Atlanta, both in the trucks and the cup cars. So that's why I've picked him tonight, because I just know his form here in those last 10 to 15 laps.
And one thing I've noticed amongst this field are the 2 different lines that our 2 leaders are running. Matty Ray up into that top groove, about the middle to the very top coming off the corner, and Brad Newman's been on that white line since the start of the race. So be interesting to see how these guys play it out if they do close up here towards the end. But right now, Brad Newman's kind of in that catbird seat, because that gap had really been stagnant here for the last 6 or 7 laps or so.
Yeah, as you say that though, we've just seen that drop down to 3.1 seconds. Now it's back out to 3.2. So it's up and down that gap. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on. But I'm sitting in the spotter's room camera at the moment, and the trucks now I can see on the same camera shot. So it is slowly coming down.
And we saw it earlier in the year at IRP. I'm not sure if you're in the booth with me there, Mark, but we got that late race caution. We had that late race yellow, and it really mixed everything up. Pretty much stole the win away from Brad Newman, and he's going to be on his game to not let that happen again this week. And all these guys are going to have one more set of tires in the pits if we do get that late race caution. And we've seen it so far tonight, a lot of single truck accidents, and all it takes is just one untimely caution to really mix this all up.
100%. Now I'm going to ask Colin this first. I've done it here on new Atlanta. I haven't done it on the old Atlanta. Would you consider on taking right sides only here? That's a question for both of you.
I'll let Colin handle that.
It'd have to be a very short run just to take rights. That being said, the lefts don't wear a hell of a lot, but I really struggle with hots on one side and colds on the other.
Yeah, I've never been one to take 2 tires in all my years here on iRacing. I've only had it work out for me only a couple times. So it really wouldn't even cross my mind, especially at a track like this where you can pass on the bottom, on the top. It's really hard to hold multiple lanes off here. So, and it's easy, in passing is, done pretty easily. So I would take 4 tires if that was the case, but I've been wrong before.
Well, that's something to keep an eye on. And as we can see now, that gap down to just over 3 seconds. So keep an eye out. It's definitely something to watch as we roll down with 17 laps to go.
Well, we saw it there at IRP. I mentioned it a little bit ago when we did have that late race caution and we had some pit stop strategy playing part. That 42 truck, as we see him on screen right now, he was the one that took 2 tires and made it work and came home a winner. And right now, him and Ryan Barber mere inches apart as they are battling for that 3rd position. Lachlan pitted, 6 laps after Ryan Barber did. And so that's going to be quite an advantage that he has right now on the moment. But Ryan has done a good job to use that short pit and come out ahead of where he was earlier. And right now he's going to settle in for 4th and try to hold off that 19 truck. That 19 truck, though, he is coming. He's got, a couple laps on Brian himself, and Lachlan has gone from 5th to 3rd here over the last couple laps.
Yeah, those SRM boys, you just never count them out. If they're in the race, you've really got to watch your mirrors, because they definitely sneak up on you. I know Lockie has had a few race wins in the past.
Oh, big save there out of that 194. He's going to chase it all the way down to the apron. Typical Atlanta stuff right there, and that's going to close that 19 truck up on his rear bumper. I imagine this 19 is going to get the job done, and that 194, he's going to be praying for a yellow right about now. So he's got Tim Blundell a couple seconds behind him at the moment, and as it's looking right now, that Ford truck's going to be on his bumper here shortly.
Yeah, Ryan's just put a lot of extra heat into those rears by buzzing them like that. He's going to be really struggling now.
Most definitely, and as you know, Colin, you just can't tell when that's going to happen one corner compared to the next. It just seems like you just get back in the gas the same way you have lap after lap, and in one lap it just doesn't work. And for Ryan Barber, that was the last time around.
Well, with 13 laps to go, guys, you definitely don't want to come down pit lane and take tyres. You're going to stay out there and try and just battle your way through, drive through those marshmallows, or as we say now that he's got badges on. Oh, big slide there in the background. You just seen there.
That's the 8 truck, yeah.
Yeah, the 8 truck. So Holsworth and getting loose, and again those tyres just getting the marshmallowy. It's definitely been hard on tyres here tonight.
And Holdsworth was pushing pretty hard there too. He's trying to get himself into that lucky dog position in case there is a late race caution. He's got 2 lap down trucks in front of him, but he is catching them both. Up until about a lap ago when he got sideways there, it's cost him a good bit of time, but he is really working, trying to put himself in position to capitalize on a late race caution if it does come out.
So with 11 laps to go, as we come across the strike this time by at 10 laps to go, we still see this gap sitting around that 3.2, 3.1 between first and second. Lachlan Urquio now up into 3rd. We've seen him drive back from that early race incident. And Brad Wright now, the truck 19, up into 4th place. He's done well too tonight, driving through. And Ryan and Barber, unfortunately, we see now his tyres really gone off. And as we were saying, it's just not worth coming down pit lane just to put a set of tyres on this close to the checkered flag, unless you get
at this point. No, I would agree, not at this point. And it's going to be a race of what could have been for the 42 truck. He restarted on lap 30 back there with me in about 15th position, a long ways back with all that Ruben Phelps confusion there on that restart, and he just passed just about everybody out there and worked his way up into 3rd, and he's going to be kicking himself when this is over about that earlier incident and starting back there, because I think if without that he'd be all over that 33 truck and really be in position to fight Brad Newman for this victory. And I just want to give a shout out to that 19 of Brad Wright. Pretty impressive run out of him tonight. He started second, led some laps early, and has been up front from the green flag from the get-go, and might come home here in the top 5 position. Went around Brian Barber a couple laps ago, and right now solidly in 4th spot.
So right now we've got 7 trucks on the lead lap. some great racing we've seen here tonight. In that middle stage, Newman and Holsworth battling hard, and we've seen Holsworth come down pit lane to take service and end up with a black flag. So end up with a drive through. I've got to ask you guys. I know it's still not the checkered flag, but driver of the round for me tonight has to be Brad Newman. Started in ninth place, got a great run up, and now led most of the way. What about you guys?
I'm going to give it to that 42. Like I mentioned earlier, he was involved in that incident with me. You know, it took out some pretty heavy competition with myself. And then he was able to start in the back, you know, with about 100 laps to go, and now is sitting in third spot. If you had asked me, you know, 100 laps ago where that 42 would finish, I'd say outside the top 10 because this truck looked pretty beat up. So very impressive run out of Lachlan. What about you, Colin?
Yeah, Lockie's definitely had a fantastic recovery drive. Probably Matty Ray for me. He's just sort of plodded along all race, kept himself out of trouble.
Yeah, started out of sixth, and you know, that midsection we seen him get up into that top five and just stay there, and he stayed there all race. We're now down under a 3-second gap. As I said, 5 laps to go. He's really got to start the push if he wants to challenge Newman now. But I think he's left it a fraction too late to close that gap up.
Yeah, battle for third right here on the racetrack. Lachlan has a mirror full of that 19 of Brad Wright. We were just talking about both of these guys here a second ago. I think maybe there is some damage on that 42 truck, and it's starting to show here late in these runs. He was able to, you know, keep his distance to that 19 earlier in the run there, and he pitted a couple laps before him. But right now, Brad Wright has got the momentum and a little bit extra speed, and this is going to be quite the battle here going down into turn one. I imagine one of these guys is going to get pretty loose coming off a 2 here.
Yeah, you can just
We
see
saw a
Lachlan.
big lift out of that 42, yeah.
Yeah. Lachlan just got a little bit loose and lifted, and that's now given the third place to Brad Wright.
Very impressive run out of this 19. We really haven't seen him run up front in this league consistently, but right now this is a banner night for that 19 truck and this team. Been very impressive, very fast all night.
So 3 laps to go, and Newman now. I'm pretty sure he's got this one in the wallet, with a 2.3 second gap back to second place, Matty Ray, and we've seen that last 5 laps or 2 laps or so, Brad Wright passed Lachlan Urquio for third. So some great racing. I've been impressed with the racing here at Old Atlanta. I'd forgotten how good the racing is actually here at Old Atlanta.
Big slide out of that Ford truck for Tim Blundell. Brian Barber in the wall as well. It's going to slow him down. Big move there by Tim Blundell as we have the white flag waving. That's Brad Wright working down the backstretch one final time. I'm going to send it over to you, Mark. You can call him home.
Yeah, great race. Comes through turns 3 and 4 for the last time. Down through the section, and he will take the checkered flag, gets it sideways. Bit of SVG there across the line. Nice win for him. Matty Raymond now coming home in second place, and Brad Wright, Lachlan Urquio, and Ryan Barber has been able to hold on to 5th place. So some great racing.
Brian's got a problem. Brian is slow down the backstretch. I think he hit the wall or something going down to turn 1. He has lost 5th and 6th place. He's going to come home in 7th, last on the lead lap. That 194, I believe he might have blew a tire or something on the final lap. We see him going for a big slide. That's really going to put a damper on the end of his night, but still a top 10 finish there for the 194. You watch Brad here doing his victory burnouts. Another win for Brad Wright. That's going to be, I believe, his 8th on the year. really putting a statement in this championship. He's going to gain a bunch of points on Ruben Phelps, who was second coming in, who had some issues tonight, did not finish this race. So it's going to be an ultimate power grab here for this 33 truck.
Well, I've also got to look at Lachlan Erclier. He was sitting in third place. I can't remember the points gap, but that may have even moved him up into second place in the championship.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm going to run down this top 10 here. Brad Newman, your winner tonight. Matty Ray in second. Brad Wright, impressive run, coming home in third. Lachlan Urquio, another impressive run, coming back from his crash into fourth. Tim Blundell, last lap passed on Ryan Barber to get fifth. Andy J is going to come home in sixth. Ryan Barber, with those last lap issues, comes home in seventh. Troy Mortensen, first car, one lap down in eighth. Kutai Dal, new driver to the series, very impressive tonight, showed some good speed tonight, comes home in ninth. Jason Holdsworth was running up front, battling for the lead, had a little bit of an issue on pit road, comes home 10th. Brian Blundell limps home in 11th. Mark Grocott in 12th. Zach Blundell in 13th. Ruben Phelps with his issues tonight is going to retire and finish 14th. Then it's that really bad driver. We're not going to talk about him in 15th. 16th is going to be Tom Pritchard and the 6 truck. Colin Bennett in the 242 up here in the booth with us came home 17th. And then Derek Jacobs, 18th spot, his 27th. Going to skip away and get some commercials in, and we're going to come back with your interviews with the top 3 finishers tonight.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like Simrigs and Track Racer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway here. Got our top 3 finishers up here in the booth tonight. I am here with third place Brad Wright. Brad Wright, man, what an amazing job. Came home third. How you feeling after your first podium finish here in the Southern Thunder Truck Series?
Well, to be honest, mate, I'm over the moon, and it's my first series podium ever. Yeah, I've not done very well in getting the podiums.
Well,
But I finally got one. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, yeah, great job tonight. You got started up front, kind of qualified second, kind of drove away there at the beginning, led some laps. How much of a confidence booster was that for you to go up front there and lead some of these guys around this racetrack?
No, it was real good, eh? It's just when I took off, though, I was like, oh, try and stay calm, and it was trying to keep that foot off the pedal, but I just couldn't. Then they dragged me back, and it's like, yep. Then I settled down and got into a rhythm. But yeah, no, I was trying to push it.
And it's hard to do here with with the tire degradation being so heavy. With your pit stop there, it seems like you pitted around the same time as some of those other guys around you. Do you think you possibly pitting a little earlier, maybe getting some track position there on the undercut, or are you just happy to ride along where you were and hopefully maybe even get up to the third place where you ended up?
Yeah, I don't really have a pit strategy. I just go till my gas nearly runs out, and the tyre people tell me when my tyres are getting low. And after this first pit stop, the tyres were good for that second stint. So no, it was real good.
Oh, I'd say it was a pretty good run out of that 19 truck tonight, coming home in third spot. Anybody you want to shout out? Any sponsors, teammates, anything you want to give some credit to for your third place finish?
Oh yeah, the PSS, Lane Fabrications, Child Cancer Foundation, I Am Hope, and Timo's Paint Shop. Without them, I wouldn't be doing it. So.
Well, congratulations, man. Next week is going to be Bristol Motor Speedway. How you feeling about that one? Got any experience, any good runs going here at Bristol?
I've only actually ever done the Bristol Dirt in the truck. Couple of years ago, I think they run that. That's been my only Bristol event. So I better get on the track for some laps.
Yeah, I'd say so. Bristol's a tough little place to race, but hopefully we can catch you up here soon and up here in the booth. And I'm glad you got yourself a good finish tonight to hang your head high.
Thank you, and I'd like to thank all the people watching. You make it all good for us. Thank you, and Kobe, and you guys up in the booth do an awesome job.
We appreciate it, man. Congratulations on your podium finish. That's Brad Wright in the 19 truck. I'm going to send it over to Mark Joe. He's going to be with our second place finisher, big old Matty Ray.
Yeah. Hey, Matty. Welcome to booth, mate, and congratulations on second place.
Hey, man. How you going? Yeah, that was a good one. Had to work for that one, eh?
Yeah, mate. You did what I said you were going to do. I had you for the win though, so I was out there trying to push. Obviously, I didn't push hard enough.
Yeah, no, I was the one pushing a bit too hard, sort of thing at the end there. I think I might have had, if I looked after it just that little bit better, I might have had something for Brad. But yeah, no, all kudos to him, man. He just outmanaged us that little bit. I got to about 3 seconds away from him and sort of stalled out a little bit, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll be able to get him with 10 laps to go if his tyres fall off the edge before mine did. And I was just chatting to him then. He said, yeah, he was getting tyre warnings and all sorts. So.
Yeah, right. Well, we seen that gap get down to just on 2 seconds, you might all say. I reckon another 10 laps and you would have had him. I also believe you were getting a few little messages from someone that decided to do a turncoat tonight and get out on the racetrack.
Yeah, I had a standing crew chief, I guess you'd call him, for a little bit, telling me to push hard and go for it and all that sort of the carry on. So yeah, no, it was good. I was looking at the timer and I'm like, yeah, geez, I reckon I will have something for him here. And yeah, like I said, I think I just heated up the right front a little bit too much, and the right rear. It started getting a bit free as well towards the end there. So yeah, just overdrove it a little bit, but yeah, tried my hardest, and to come away with second against Brad, I mean, shit, that's, you can't complain at all there, eh?
No, definitely not, mate. But all of your trucks tonight, all your teammates, unfortunate for Ruben, some internet problems, I believe, and unlucky for Lachlan, get mixed up in that early snap in the early race and brought out that first caution.
Yeah, I could see Lockie from my front window. He got a little bit of a tank slapper and touch up the wall a bit. And yeah, Rubes must have had that ape from that old Eastwood movie with him, bloody right turn, Clyde, and just straight there. But he said he had no damage or anything, so some sort of weird internet glitch or something happening there. I don't know. Because he sort of got signs of it as we were coming to the green there. That's why I got on the mic to the rest of the lads and sort of said, look, like, just take it easy, because he doesn't know what's going on. And yeah, he got booted out of Discord and back in, and so we're not quite sure what's going on there.
Yeah, so his old internet gremlins are back. And nevertheless, mate, a great run for you. We're off to Bristol next week. I know how much you love that place.
Yeah, I don't mind that joint. Yeah, you know me, short tracks, a lot of banking, concrete. I'll be happy.
Yep. Just remember the change from the racetrack to pit lane. We're going from cement to asphalt instead of the other way around.
Oh, that's no dramas. The problem with that place for me is whether it's dual or single pit lane. I'll never know where to bloody enter.
Well, mate,
black bag doing that.
Well, mate, a great result for you. Before we let you go, shout out to supporters and sponsors.
Yeah, of course. Big massive thanks to TWRS for providing all SRM with some decent setups, and didn't have to put bugger all work into this week, and we had a lot of pace. So yeah, really happy with them. And Scotch Race Fuels, we've got Cut 6 Sticker Co, Ray down at Moondog, and a couple of charities we always shout out with Tourette's Syndrome and the Alopecia Foundation. Of course, you guys, Kobe, Inside Lane, Scotches for helping out the league, and all the drivers that come. Oh, and Brad Wright, I've got to give him a shout out. Look at that podium. Is that his first?
Yeah, that's definitely his first. Yep.
Hey, good on him. See, that's what you get for coming to TWRS, don't you?
Well, mate.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
No, congratulations again, and we'll see you next week at Bristol. I may even dust off the old Chevrolet and get out there myself.
Yeah, can't, mate. Yeah, let me give the bumper to you at least once.
It's been a little while, so we'll see how we go.
Yeah, I'm not going to rust off for you.
Yeah, all right, mate. Thanks, and congratulations again on your second place here at Old Atlanta.
Thanks, boys. Thanks, Ta.
And we'll go back to you, Sean.
Well, I'm here with your Brad winner, your big winner tonight. Hey, Brad Newman, your 8th win of the season, pretty much in dominating fashion. But you had your hands full earlier in the race with that 8 truck. Did you think it was going to be one heck of a show going down there towards the end?
Thanks, mate. Yeah, it would have been real fun with Jason. He's one of my favorite guys to race against, so that was a bummer when I seen him go back through the pit lane. Matty was coming at the end there too, so it was a fun race.
Did you have any alternate strategies in your playbook there towards the end, or did you feel like you made the right call pitting when you did? We all saw Matty Ray closing on you pretty quick there towards the end. Did you ever second guess yourself over that last 30 lap run to try to figure out maybe if you did anything pitted too early or too late there?
Well, I wanted to run the tank out like a bit longer, but I started getting the spotter warning on my right rear tire. I thought I was about to put a hole in it, and it felt that way too. So I thought the safe thing to do before I get a puncture or something would be to bring it in. And judging by the numbers when I did it, it wasn't far away from popping. So I sort of probably did that at the right time.
Yeah, I'd say so, especially where you ended up here towards the end. We got yourself a big points night as well, with Ruben Phelps having some internet issues and a new second place driver in the standings. What is going to be your mindset and thought process coming into the second, this late half of the season here, trying to wrap up this championship?
Same as always. I don't really think about the points too much. Just try and go and win each race and see where I end up.
And it's easy not to think about points when you're out there kicking butt like yourself. Congratulations on your 8th win of the season and a big win tonight. Anybody you want to shout out? Any sponsors, teammates, plugs you want to give to celebrate your victory?
Just you guys, as always, for putting these events on. The guys at Lobs Esports, and to Brad Wright as well on his first podium. That was pretty cool to see. Thanks, fellas.
Yeah, agreed. We're all pretty happy for Brad up here in the booth. Congratulations to the 33 truck, Brad Newman. Winner chicken dinner tonight here at Old Atlanta Speedway. It's pretty much going to wrap up your interviews here tonight. Mark, very interesting race altogether. I kind of feel like I missed the first half of it, riding around the back like I was, but it was quite a show that we got to see here towards the end. Yeah,
again, some great racing. It's as I said, I forgot how good Old Atlanta was, but in saying that too, the new track, new surfaces are fantastic. I'd just like to say thanks for having me back up in the booth again tonight. Hopefully and we'll be back again to do some more calling. But as I said, now that I know we're going to Bristol, I might even dust off the old Chevrolet and bring it out for a run next week.
You can race my truck. We just got to fix it up a little bit. I want to thank our sponsors, Scotcher Race Fuel, 131 Radio, everybody who helps make this thing happen. Kobe for being the producer, pushing the buttons, and we saw the league ID there. If you're interested in joining us, next week's going to be Bristol Motor Speedway. Definitely one of the best tracks on the NASCAR schedule. We're going to have one heck of a show again for you guys come next Friday morning or Thursday night. Catch you guys there next week. Bristol Motor Speedway, going to be one heck of a show. Congratulations to Brad Newman, your big winner tonight. Catch you guys then.